Jai, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. This is Major Himanshu, and today we have the pleasure of hosting Colonel Ravindra Tripathi on our platform. There has been a commanding officer in Corps of Electrical and Mechanical Engineering, EME. He was stationed at a spot in the epoch of time when the militancy or the terrorism started in Valley in 1990s, specifically 89 to 1991. And today we have the honor to invite him to listen to what really happened during that time while he was commanding, uh, and how he saw the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits from Valley, and obviously his own experiences. Sir, welcome on board. In this series of meetings that we have, these YouTube lives, what we do, we invite esteemed panelists like you, and then we like to listen to your experiences, your perspectives, and learnings, which certainly can go out to others in helping build their perspectives. This is about 35 minutes of your talk, sir. And to the audience, we will continue to invite your questions. Please write your questions in the chat. So about 35 minutes later, sir, we will open the forum for questions so people can ask and can engage you, sir. With that, sir, welcome on board, and we would like a small introduction and then begin. How exactly did you see this rise, unfortunate rise of militancy, exodus of Kashmiri Pandits on ground, and your experiences, sir? You're on mute, I believe, sir.
Good evening to one and all. I'm grateful to your organization that you have given me this opportunity to talk about the rise of militancy in Kashmir Valley. Well, I was posted in a workshop in Srinagar, in the heart of the town. Before that, I was in Guwahati. So from one end to another end, when I got my posting, I felt very happy that night. Now I am going to a place which is called Heaven on the Earth. Well, 1989, somewhere April, May, I joined the unit in Srinagar. It was a heaven, no doubt, but things were simmering, things were taking shape silently, and I won't be able to say whether people knew about that or not because I'm not in that particular domain of the governance or anything else. We are simply commanding our units and doing the needful whatever is required. Well, it all of a sudden the militancy erupted in that area, in Srinagar and surrounding areas. And it was not that it happened immediately, just like that. There has been preparations going on for that activity by the forces which were against the nation India. Correct? The things started coming up to the fore with the activities of the militants. And the first such thing happened, a Kashmiri Pandit was gunned down in Srinagar town. That was the start of the problem. And what I cannot say, one Mr. Ganju, a retired judge, he was killed in November 1989 in the Srinagar. After that, one Mr. Taplu was a social activist and BJP worker, a very respected figure in that area. was also gunned down. What militants had planned, with the help from across the border, that create the panic and create a situation where people start leaving that place, and then they will have their own writ. Well, their plan was perfect as per them, but for the presence of the Indian Defence Forces, particularly the army, and the resolve of the government that let there be anything, situation should be under control. I remember 1990 January, 26 January, flag hoisting and Republic Day parade is conducted throughout the nation. The same was to happen in Srinagar also, which was always done in the ground in Srinagar city. Just 3 days before that, then the governor of J&K, General Krishna Rao, he was in his place, Dr. Jagmohan. He was appointed as the new governor of the Jammu and Kashmir. He was to take the parade. He was to take the salute in the parade, but he could not reach Srinagar due to the heavy snowfall on Banihal ranges, and his chopper or aircraft could not come to Srinagar. What militants had planned that on 26 January they'll declare the independence. 25th January evening, whole Srinagar city was put under curfew, and government of the day, central government I'm saying, they did all what was required to be done to ensure that that particular thing does not happen. And we succeeded. We, in the sense, government succeeded. Situation was controlled, but the militancy and the terrorism and the anti-national forces plan was in full force. Was in full force. I remember I had gone out along with my troops on the Srinagar streets, and we were just to control the thing without any violence. Though the city was under curfew, but whole city was on the streets. January, chilling cold. However, not no untoward incident happened. कोई उसमें गोलीबारी या मतलब ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ, लेकिन सिचुएशन ऐसी थी कि देख के कोई भी मतलब वो सहम जाता, घबरा जाता, सोचता कि ये क्या हो रहा है. Well, if we go back into the history, after independence, Jammu and Kashmir region became a bone of contention between Pakistan and India. Forget about, let's leave aside the political decisions taken by the government leaders who were at that time. But the fact remains, it became a festering problem for our nation. I remember while reading a book in 1947 or 48, when the Kabilis they invaded Kashmir. That time British forces had already left. British officers who were still in the country, they refused to do anything. We all may be remembering Lieutenant General S.K. Sinha. General S.K. Sinha, at that time, he was a young captain in the army headquarters. And he single-handedly ensured and organized the movement of the troops from different parts of the country to Srinagar. And that situation was saved, and Kabilis were defeated and they were driven back. However, in between the ceasefire came, and it became a problem which still people are facing. As we have seen, and we have witnessed, at least our generation, then Kashmir has always been popped up by Pakistan to create situations in the country which are not favorable to the country, and also with the aim to annex it from the nation India. Well, what they wanted to do, they are doing, but I can only say with the steely resolve of the government, national government, they have not succeeded and they will not succeed. Though there has been a lot of loss of human life, but yes, that happens in a situation like this. Now in 90s, when this situation became very serious, the reason behind that, people say, is the rigging in the elections. Okay, that is a political process. Any party which wants to remain in power does whatever is required by them so that they remain in power. 1987 elections happened in Srinagar, J&K, and there are n number of writings on that. It was hugely rigged. Okay, fine, that happened. From there, the local people, they started movement with the support of militant organizations, with the support from across the border from Pakistan side, to create a situation where the violence becomes the main activity to achieve the aim which the Pakistan wanted. There were three phases. One was the creating the background, creating the situation where the masses rise against the government, and that lasted for about 2 years. When the militancy was at its peak, 1990, 1991, 1992, I have witnessed that during that time, what was the situation. And by targeted killing of the Kashmiri Pandits, militants wanted to send a message to the Hindu population that you leave the valley. And that happened. They killed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 prominent Kashmiri Pandits. Before that, they targeted the IB officers, Intelligence Bureau officers. And the first IB officer, a sub-inspector, Kishan Gopal Chauhan, 37 years old, he was killed on 8th January 1990. I was posted there in that place. It happened in Srinagar. It happened a little away from Srinagar, but the aim was to wipe out the intelligence operatives in that area so that the government is not in a position to get the feedback from the ground. First-hand feedback from the ground, in a systematic manner, they started killing the intelligence bureau officers, intelligence officers, Jammu and Kashmir anti-terrorist, anti-espionage officers, one by one. Daily, after not even if daily, then after every 3-4 days, we used to read in the papers or hear on the radio channels that such and such IB officer has been gunned down, such and such J&K police officer has been gunned down. How that was being done? Because on a large scale, the arms and ammunition that was provided from across the border. In the same manner, one inspector, Hamidullah Bhatt of J&K police, he was gunned down. Within few hours after the killing of Chauhan, IB officer. Then another officer, TK Razdan, he was technical officer of the IB. He was gunned down in proper Srinagar city, Gupkar Road, where all VIPs stay. And in 2-3 months, there was not any IB or intelligence officer left in Valley who can give the feedback. It was done with a very planned, in a very planned manner by the forces who were abetting and supporting and providing all type of support to Kashmiri people, or even people were coming from across the border. Similarly, judges, retired judges who had given judgment against the anti-national forces, people, they were gunned down. If someone was there at that time in Srinagar city or in a valley, they can remember, they can recollect how the situation was. Then from the business community, in Srinagar, there were businessmen from all over the country. There were businessmen from Delhi area, from Tamil Nadu, from Kerala, from everywhere. One by one, their shops were looted. They were asked to leave. One of my known friend, a businessman from Delhi, who was doing a very good business in that area, he had to close down his shop. Then in January, my unit was located near the Srinagar airport. The most unfortunate incident happened where the Air Force personnel were gunned down. There is a Badgam Chowk. So from there, they used to take the Air Force bus for going to the Air Force station near Srinagar airport. One fine morning, around 8 in the morning, we were just taking the parade. We had just started work for the day. We heard gunshots. All army units at that time, we had a QRTs, quick reaction team, because situation was such. When our QRT, the place where from where the firing took place, was about 3 kilometers from our place. When we reached there, then we found that Air Force personnel were going for their duty. I think 2 squadron leaders and 2 or 3 airmen. They were gunned down. So this situation, this type of activity by the militants created a scene where Kashmiri Pandits started fleeing from the valley to save their life. There were about around 150,000 Kashmiri Pandits in valley before the start of the militancy. Around 1 lakh they left overnight. I have witnessed that with my own eyes. Any type of transport available, families, whatever little they could carry along with them, they left the valley. Local administration was totally paralyzed, or they were not doing anything. I won't be able to say, but there was no law and order situation during those days. But for the resolve of the government, and but for the I should not say brave activity, that was the duty of the defense forces, situation was more or less kept under control. There were ups and downs, there were problems, logistic problems, but things remained under control. Now the militants, initially they created a situation where the momentum was built up. That took 2-3 years. Then with the effective role played by the J&K police and defense forces and other central and state government agencies, things came under control, and next 3-4 years it remained this side or that side, that type of situation. The biggest thing which was funding, which was creating all these things, which was helpful in fomenting the trouble, was the financial support. ये हम सभी जानते हैं, किसी भी काम को करने के लिए पैसे की बहुत जरूरत होती है. यूथ लॉन्ग, मतलब काफी उसमें अनएम्प्लॉयड, कोई काम नहीं, क्या करें, उनको पैसे मिलते थे ये सब काम करने के लिए. They used to be funded from people within the valley, from outside the border, from other side of the border. And when recently, I think 4 or 5 years back, when that money channel was choked or closed, our government took actions to catch all those people. Now the things have changed. Things are different. When they failed in their aim, then they brought people on the street, stone pelting, which we all have seen, which we all have read about that. Nobody was coming to throw stones on the people. They were being paid. When that money channel was choked, then that has stopped. Whom to blame? And as it is said, you take off small things at right time, all bigger things will be in place, will be right, will be fine. What we learned in army, take care of all small things. Don't let that small thing be overlooked. All things will be fine. That was the requirement of the day, that time, during that period. Well, past is past, but now the things are different. One thing which comes to mind, or rather which everybody talks about, that there has been injustice to Valley. Yes, the stories which are coming now, which are come to fore now, some 2-3 families, they ruled the state for long. They reaped the benefits of each and everything. At one time, the developmental funds which are being given to the valley, rather Jammu and Kashmir, maximum was used in the valley, and corruption was at the highest level. Poor people became disinterested. They became against the establishment. And in that situation, you just pop them up, give them some support. They come out. They do the things. So again, I'll say political side is political side. That is a different thing that they have to take care. But on ground, the things when are to be controlled, can be controlled, will be controlled. And my understanding has been, let there be any government in the center, every government takes corrective actions and ensures that nothing goes out of hand, be it any government. And situation was bad during that time, but at the same time, there was hope, and right thinking people were always hopeful that things will be will be fine. And those ups and downs are happening, but things are getting better and better. That's what I can say. The governance, the there are 3 different type of approach in the valley. To remain in power, there are 3 different type of thought processes which are acting, and they are against each other. One is secular approach. सभी अच्छे हैं, सभी अपने थोड़ा भटक गए होंगे, उनको साथ में लाएंगे, सब अच्छा होगा. secular approach. Another is religious approach, which we all know, hardcore fundamentalist. Then ethnic approach, हमारा गुर्जर इलाका है, हम कश्मीरी पंडित हैं, हम कश्मीरी मुसलमान हैं, उनका अपना इंटरेस्ट है, कोई कभी साथ में होंगे अपने इंटरेस्ट के लिए, कोई अभी दूसरे से अलग होंगे। तो ये वहाँ पे चलता रहता है, उस समय भी था और 1990 के पहले भी था, और उसी की वजह से वहाँ पे चीज़ें अप डाउन होती रही हैं। लेकिन जब भी ऐसी सिचुएशन आई है, हमारे ख्याल से 1948 के बाद 1990 1989 से जो प्रारंभ हुआ है, वो बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज रहा है देश के लिए और सभी राइट थिंकिंग लोगों के लिए कि उसका क्या सलूशन होना चाहिए, क्या उसका उपचार होना चाहिए। और इंटरनेशनल पॉलिटिक्स में जैसा हमको सबको पता है कि हर एक देश एक दूसरे देश से अपना फायदा लेना चाहता है। नो वन इज ऑन योर साइड, नो वन इज अगेंस्ट यू, इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन द सिचुएशन and the benefits which they are going to draw. As simple as that. So in all such conditions, it has to be the nation, it has to be the people of the nation. हम सभी अपने को कैसे अच्छा बनाएंगे और अपने देश को कैसे आगे लेके जाएंगे, ऐसे ही फोर्सेस से हम अपने को कैसे बचाएंगे या उनको कैसे हम डिफीट करेंगे, वो हमारे ऊपर है। Every human being has got ambition. वो एम्बिशन के लिए कुछ भी करते हैं, कोई गलत काम भी करेंगे, कोई अच्छा काम भी करेंगे, कोई उसके साथ नहीं होंगे, वो चलता रहता है। बट द रिक्वायरमेंट इज कि सभी चीजें सही तरीके से उसको हैंडल किया जाए, उसको सही तरीके से उसका सलूशन होना चाहिए जिसमें कि सभी को उसमें फायदा हो। और तो सिचुएशन जो 1990 में थी, जो हमने देखा, फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस किया था, आई विल नॉट से कि दैट शेक्स मी अप, दैट ओनली सेज दैट आई ओनली बिलीव, रादर आई ओनली फील कि ठीक है, अच्छा हुआ, एक्सपीरियंस हुआ और हमसे जो कुछ हो सका हमने उसमें कंट्रीब्यूट किया और सिचुएशन को सही करने के लिए, सही तरीके से रखने के लिए, चीज़ों को अच्छा करने के लिए जो हो सकता था हमने किया। और उसके बाद से तो चीज़ें बहुत इम्प्रूव हो गई हैं। फोर्सेस का एक्शन रिएक्शन जो भी होता है बहुत ही डिसाइसिव है, और जो एम लेके पाकिस्तान ने या उनके सपोर्टर्स ने या उनके आईएसआई ने जो किया, शायद क्या, ये तो निश्चित ही है कि उसमें वो सक्सेसफुल नहीं हुए, होंगे भी नहीं। हाँ, ये अलग बात है कि वहाँ के लोकल लोगों का वो ज़्यादा इसमें सफ़र करना पड़ा है। एंड इफ यू आस्क मी पर्सनली, आई हैव फाउंड कश्मीरी पीपल वन ऑफ द एक्सीलेंट ह्यूमन बीइंग्स, एक्सीलेंट। I have got many close friends even today, 1990 and today it is 2024. Even after 34 years, I have got family relations with the people with whom I met during that time. They come, whenever they come to Mumbai, they stay with us. After retirement, I have gone to Valley 3 times. I have stayed with their family. बहुत ही अच्छे लोग होते हैं, लेकिन और वो भी कहते हैं कि कुछ ही पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स हैं, पॉलिटिकल ग्रुप्स हैं जो कि अपने फायदे के लिए ये सब चीज़ों को उछालते रहते हैं, करते रहते हैं। और दैट इज द, in nutshell, that is the story.
So thank you so much. We are at 30 minutes mark almost.
Yeah.
Um, First of all, great listening to you. Very, sounded like a story that at least I could flow through. So thank you so much. For the audience, we've already requested audience to raise their hand. One, type their questions in the chat. If you want us to take the questions, we will do that.
Okay.
Now, while we are waiting for the audience question, sir, I do certainly have a question in my mind.
Yeah.
Uh, when you said सड़क पर लोग आ गए थे, पूरा कश्मीर पूरा श्रीनगर सिटी रोड पर था उस समय जब आप अपने पेट्रोल पर निकले होंगे। तो उस फेज से पहले जो सिविल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन था, वर यू इन टच विद द सिविल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन फॉर वट एवर रीजन एंड वाज सिविल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन रिस्पॉन्सिव? एंड आफ्टर दिस स्टार्टेड हैपनिंग और हैपेंड, वो स्पेसिफिक जनवरी 26 का जो आपने इंसिडेंट्स बताया, सिविल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने हाथ खड़े कर दिए या सिविल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आपको लगा कि किसी तरीके से वो उनकी साइड ले रहा है?
नहीं, देखिए उस समय वहां पे इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट थी। 1990 में देयर वाज अ इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट इन द वैली, इन J&K,
राइट सर।
and civil administration acts and does the things on the directive of the elected political leader. So it was the responsibility of the elected government to see and ensure that law and order remains normal. A and a police officer on his own will not go out and take action until and unless he gets the directives. So it was the responsibility of the elected government to ensure that the things are in order. So I'll not say that civil administration was responsible. Whatever may be the reason, whatever might have been the circumstances, whatever might have been the approach of the elected government at that time, it was their responsibility, duty. And as I said, no government will allow the things to go out of hand. Why army was involved? When the things became out of hand, then naturally there must have been directive from somewhere. Please take control of the situation or do the needful or assess the civil administration. So I take it this way: it was the responsibility of the elected government, and I won't be able to say what was their compulsion, why they did not do it, why the things were overlooked, whether they were with them or without or away from them. It is for them to answer.
Sir, one more question. Thank you for this. One more question has come, and this is from Mr. Anand Sundaraj. And Mr. Sundaraj is here. You are free to ask your question directly, but I'm reading the question over to you. What is the current situation of the pundits who lost their homes and had to leave? Have they come back?
See, government has rather what I understand, government of India is trying that they go back, they settle down there. But I believe the threat there by the fringe militant groups or anti-national elements are the uh, people sponsored and inspired by the people across the border. That fear is always there. Now, as the J&K elections have been declared, now we are witnessing that in every area now the militants activity has that terrorist groups, they have increased their activity. The aim of Pakistan, ISI, or all those forces is only one: let the democracy not prevail in that area. Let the situation be such that the world understand that it is a disputed area, it is a troubled area. And one very interesting thing has happened. earlier movement, during the earlier days, 90s, in the 90s, there were jihadi elements. I'll give you an interesting situation of that time. Those days, all primary schools, high schools, and intermediate colleges, by and large, were burned down by the militants, jihadi militants. The medium of instruction in those schools used to be Kashmiri language. They were burned down, and madrasas were started. The reports are, intelligence reports are there. It is well recorded fact that more than 3,000 Maulvis, they were recruited from UP and Bihar on a salary of, I think, those days, some 3,000 or 4,000 rupees. And they started that in that area. Aim was only to radicalize the local youths. 1990, today is 2024. In 1990, a 10-year-old boy or 7-year-old boy who has gone through that system is now today fully radicalized. So because of that fear, though the government is trying, must be trying its level best, but the person, I mean, displaced persons, Kashmiri Hindus, Pandits, mostly not many of them have gone back or willing to go back.
Sir, then there is one more question, follow up on that. Are the current changes in the state government have a positive impact on the population there?
See, after the abrogation of Article 370, now many things which the earlier government, central government was not able to do in that place because of the special status. Now all those things are gone, and the forthcoming election, JNK election, the main effort by the anti-national elements will be to ensure that other side wins, and they start demanding uh, bringing back the Article 370 and other articles. Though the government has been able, what I read in the papers or listen in the channels, a lot many developments are taking place because of removal of Article 370 and other things. But how far that will be effective, that time will tell.
I'm not sure if this question needs a little bit more elaboration, and this is coming from Mr. Kishan Kumar Gupta. अगर आप हैं यहाँ कॉल सेशन में तो आप डायरेक्टली पूछ सकते हैं, but I'll repeat the question, or I'll
Yeah,
interpreting the question. Tell something about the role of Kashmiri civilians in Chinnar regiment. Well, there is no Chinnar regiment in the army, but maybe there is an incident. Chinnar, Kashmiri civilians in Chinnar.
Kashmiri civilians in Chinar.
Yeah.
No, I'm not able to understand. What is the question?
I'm not able to get it. And Mr. Kishan Kumar Gupta आप हैं, किशन जी आप अनम्यूट करके ये क्वेश्चन आप डायरेक्टली पूछ सकते हैं.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, what I want to know about the Kashmiri civilians. मतलब उन्होंने क्या मतलब योगदान दिया है चिनार रेजिमेंट को बनाने में, उन्हीं की वजह से ना चिनार रेजिमेंट बना है कश्मीर में.
नहीं, वहां पे कोई चिनार रेजिमेंट नहीं है. वहां पे कोर हेडक्वार्टर है, 15 कोर हेडक्वार्टर. उसको चिनार,
ओके.
चिनार उसका इंसिग्निया जो है वो चिनार का पौधा, पत्ता जो होता है वो उनका इंसिग्निया है. तो 15 कोर जो है उसको चिनार कोर बोलते हैं. तो
ओके.
ऐसा कोई चिनार रेजिमेंट नहीं है वहां पे. और एक आर्मी का कोर जो होता है उसमें तकरीबन 3 डिवीजन होते हैं, ब्रिगेड्स होते हैं. यूनिट्स होती हैं,
ब्रिगेडियर ब्रिगेड।
और इन सब जगहों पे जैसे कोर हेडक्वार्टर है तो उसमें सिविलियन भी काम करते हैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के उसमें, तो उनका जो
ओके
रोल होता है वो करते हैं, लेकिन कोई फाइटिंग चिनार रेजिमेंट नहीं है वहाँ पे।
सर, आई हियर दैट जैसे कि पहले के लोग जैसे वहाँ के बगावत किए थे, जो कि उनको भी सेना में मतलब जोड़ा गया।
नहीं नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं, अब जहाँ तक मुझको पता है वहाँ पे कोई बगावत नहीं हुई फौज में, कभी भी, कभी भी नहीं
फौज में
हुई।
नहीं सर, फौज में नहीं। जैसे कव्वालियों के लिए, जो कि उधर से लोग आए थे और उनको भगाने के लिए, पाकिस्तान से जो लोग आए थे उनको भगाने में इंडियन आर्मी के साथ उन्होंने
हाँ, वो
कांटेक्ट किया।
1948 में हुआ था, तो उसमें
हम्म।
जो सिविलियंस ने सहायता हेल्प किया था आर्मी का, और उस समय तो
हम्म।
उसमें बहुत ऐसे थे जिनको कि वहाँ पे कोई सुविधाएं नहीं मिलती थी, तो वो आर्टिकल ये 370 के हटने के बाद उनको वहाँ
ओके
पे वो सुविधाएं मिलनी शुरू हो गई जो सबको मिलती हैं। ये आप सही कह रहे हैं, उनको
ओके
सरकारी
सर।
नौकरियों में काम नहीं मिलता था, उनके लिए कोई स्पेशल क्लास बनाया था जम्मू एंड कश्मीर उनके मतलब लॉ में, कि उनको वहाँ का कोई
हम्म।
सुविधा नहीं मिलता था, वो अभी मिलना शुरू हो गया है।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, Krishanji. Sir, one more question from
जी,
Swaminathan Sairam. I'm going to speak that out. Is there a chance for Pakistan to realize its mistake of abetting terrorism, which has its crucial role in the economic crisis there? And also, can we get back POK?
see, if we think that there will be some wiser sense in the Pakistan, I think we are daydreaming. That will never change. That's what I understand. Though their economy is down, it is very in very bad shape. But that psychology, that mentality, that we have to fight back and we have to take Kashmir, I think वो खत्म नहीं होगा कभी। और जैसा कि संस्कृत में एक कहावत होती है, श्लोक है, शठे शाठ्यम समाचरेत, दुष्ट को दुष्ट की तरह से ही डील करना चाहिए। या अंग्रेजी में कहावत है, ट्रबल द ट्रबल टिल द टाइम ट्रबल ट्रबल्स यू। अगर आपको कोई परेशान कर रहा है तो आप भी उसको इतना परेशान करो कि वो आपको परेशान करना छोड़ दे। वो हरदम के लिए नहीं छोड़ेगा, लेकिन कुछ समय के लिए जरूर छोड़ देगा। तो देखिए, सारे तरीके अपनाए जा चुके हैं, ट्रैक टू डिप्लोमेसी, आपस में बैठ के बातचीत करना, सब कुछ तो हो चुका है, लेकिन वो कभी समाप्त हुआ है? मिलिटेंसी या मतलब भारत के खिलाफ उनकी कार्रवाई कभी नहीं समाप्त हुई।
What about POK, sir? What do you think of POK coming back?
पीओके, सी it will be a government policy decision which I and you don't know. And what I can say, government also must be working on that. कुछ ना कुछ तो उनमें उनको उनके विचार में चल रहा होगा। क्या होगा, कब होगा, कैसे होगा, वो तो उनके ऊपर निर्भर करता है। और अगर आप पीओके को छोड़ दीजिए, अगर आप बलूचिस्तान में जो हालात हैं वो देखिए, तो वहां पे तो हालात पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ ही हैं। और कहीं ना कहीं से तो उनके अंदर भी ये चीज आ रही है, बलूची लोगों के अंदर, कि हमारी भलाई जो है इनसे अलग होने में ही है। सो हु नोज इन फ्यूचर the geopolitical situation may change in such a way that POK comes back to India, Baluchistan goes out of Pakistan, Sindh becomes a separate state, nation. Who knows that? It all depends. And in the geopolitics, things change every day. Today it is in your favor, tomorrow it is in their favor. But in the long run, the one who plays decisively is the winner.
Mr. Swaminathan, I think we are all hopeful. We can keep the crackers at home. When does that happen? We do not know. All right. Then, sir, one more question from Mr. Tripathi. Did Kashmiri Pandits get justice?
Repeat, say it again.
Did Kashmiri Pandits
जी
get justice?
नहीं, कश्मीरी पंडित
Get justice. उनको न्याय मिला क्या? Justice
हाँ,
मिली?
correct. That is a very big question and a very painful question, painful situation. In so many killings of Kashmiri Pandits, which happened in 90s and even after that, justice has not been given. Justice has not been given. There was a famous case. One school teacher, lady teacher, Girija Tikku, some name.
Yeah, ठीक है, sir.
She was, she had left Valley. She was a school teacher. She was told to come back and collect her salary and all those things. And she was told that now things are very fine, and you come, and we are looking forward for you to come. That teacher went back to her area, Bandipora. She was staying with a family friend. She was pulled out from the house. Whole village was witnessing. Nobody raised any voice. She was taken to some place, gang raped, killed, dead body thrown. FIR lodged. Nothing happened. Her son approached Supreme Court for justice. Did not. Nothing happened. Judges rejected. They said in the past we have rejected a such case, so we cannot take up this case. They recorded. तो वो बहुत बड़ा those who have suffered, it is a big I mean very painful situation for them that justice has not been given.
The follow-up to this question, thank you for this. A follow-up to this question is, what is the current situation of the Pandits who lost their homes and had to leave? Have they come back?
The few I think some I think Kashmiri Pandits who left, I think more than 100 or so have gone back, and they are staying, they are safe. Government has ensured that their safety is there. But one thing has happened in that after Article 370 has been removed, the property which the Kashmiri Pandits left, which people had captured, now those are being identified and being returned back to the Kashmiri Pandits. ये एक बड़ा परिवर्तन हुआ है. जो उनकी प्रॉपर्टी थे, उनके घर थे या खेत खलिहान थे, जो भी थे जिसपे लोगों ने कब्जा कर लिया था, वो आइडेंटिफाई करके उनको वापस दिया जा रहा है. ये काम हो रहा है.
So, thank you, sir. One question from Mr. Tripathi. It has been suggested that Kashmiri Muslims were complicit to their silence when pundits were intimidated. Is this accurate or unfair?
See, any normal human being, any peace-loving human being, I'll not say they were complacent. Any normal human being will be always afraid of violence. By nature, everybody cannot be violent. When it comes to life and death, history says many times people have compromised. When the situation was such where they were told, you leave your women and young girls back, correct? Then every family, every person was worried about himself or herself. Yes, it is said if they would have come together, situation might have been different. But that is a very, very moot question. Very, very.
Thank you, sir. So Kishan Kumar Gupta ji is asking again, how terrorists are entering uh, in borders, basically on the sea, uh, a large number. कैसे आ रहे हैं वो इतने?
How terrorists are?
जो टेररिस्ट आ रहे हैं सर, ये इतनी संख्या में कैसे आ रहे हैं? कैसे एंटर कर पा रहे हैं?
See, if you somebody goes through the geography of Kashmir Valley or any part of the country, no area is 100% sealed. No area is 100%. Uh, uh, we cannot say that every area is 100% sealed or infiltration proof. कश्मीर में जो एरिया है, जो पहाड़ी इलाके हैं, उसमें तमाम रास्ते हैं, तमाम तरह से लोग आते हैं. Although the Indian Defence Forces and local J&K police, they have got their outpost, they have got their informers, सब कुछ है, लेकिन आप हर जगह पूरी बॉर्डर को सील नहीं कर सकते हैं. जो रास्ते होंगे उन्हीं को आप ध्यान में रखते हैं, उसी को आप कवर करते हैं. तो इस तरह से लोग आते रहते हैं. एंड व्हेन द अपोजिट साइड हैज प्लान्ड दैट दे हैव टू डू दिस, they will find out ways and means. And the militants which are entering India now, they are not normal militants, they are trained Pakistani people, and in many cases it has been found they have been the part of the Pakistan army. उनके लोग हैं, वो तो ट्रेंड हैं, तो उस तरह से आते हैं.
Thank you, sir. And that brings us to the end of the questions. On the militants or the terrorists coming in, I would just try to relate it to the normal phenomena. हमारे घर में भी चूहे आते हैं, कितना भी हम उसको इंडिया की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ या कहीं पे भी
हाँ, कहीं से भी आते हो,
ब्लॉक कर लें तो फिर भी वो एक दो चूहा आ जाता है. अब कितना आपने ब्लॉक किया है उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है वो कितने चूहे आपके घर में आते हैं, पर आते हैं. So 100%, like sir has said, 100% combatant situation is pretty difficult, especially जो लोगों ने वो terrain देखा है, तो मुश्किल होता है. That's all I can say. With that, sir, I think we are good. Let me wait for anyone. आप अपना हाथ raise कर सकते हैं इसमें या unmute कर question पूछ सकते हैं if you want to. Before we wind up and thank Ravindra for this great insight. All right, sir. So seems there are no more questions, and I want to say thank you so much, sir, for taking out time on a weekend. We really appreciate you sharing some real anecdotes, some real situations that educate all of us. And pleasure to host you here. And thank you all the participants who could stay through this 50 or 55 minutes. We appreciate and we look forward in the next YouTube live when we host. Thank you, Jai Hind, everyone.
Okay then, thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
जय हिंद सर।
सर जय हिंद।
Jai Hind.
कैसे
Jai Hind. Thank you so much.